going to go ahead and get started. I don't have much tonight, so I really want to kind of wrap up the class. This is our last night, and many of you have been here almost every session, so thank you very much for that. How many of you are planning to be here Saturday for graduation? Anyone? Okay, you know graduation's at 3 o'clock, okay? So we need for you to be here. I believe they want you to start lining up. Have you gotten any information from the registrar's office or from anyone? What time do they want you to be here to line up?
1:30.
1:30. All right. And then the ceremony starts at 3. Please bring all your significant others, children, everyone. We'd love to see them. And after that, after the 3 o'clock ceremony, there's a reception, I believe, over at Tucker Hall that you all have been invited to. Make sure your family, if your family can come, they're there as well. It's a great chance for us to finally get to meet you face to face. Please make sure, because I am the world's worst about recognizing folks, and if I don't see you out of the context of being on my little computer screen, I may not recognize you. So please come up and say, do you remember me? Because really, truly, this is how I picture you all. So I have your face right here. So if you look anything different than how you look on TV, I will not be able. So please do that and introduce your family to me as well. I really am looking forward to that. All right, so I am recording. So let me just start sharing a couple of things with you, and then truly we will be pretty much done for the night and for the semester. By the way, congratulations to all of you. I went in and I looked in TaskStream. I've been following you for the last 2 weeks in TaskStream. All of you made it. All 14 made it. All 14 did extremely well, and on every single one of those measures that we request. So, and I know we've gotten word from a couple of our classmates who took the South Carolina practice exam, and you guys did well on that as well. 100% passing rate on that. So kudos to you all. Now the big part next is, what do you do next now that you have this degree, this master's degree? I am sincerely hoping that in a couple of weeks or in a month or so this summer, you're going to ask me to write a reference letter for you for that job that you're going after. That's a part of, because you've been in the MAILS program and because you've been a part of our program at Gardner-Webb, that is one of the things I think that Gardner-Webb does well, is that we will follow you. And at any point you need us, even after out of the program, we'll step up if you need a letter of reference, if you need anything from the university. You have a Clinical One coach. Does anybody remember who your Clinical One coach, that very first semester that you were with us, someone came out and met with you, I hope, and your principal? Well, that's your Clinical One coach. That person is, for the rest of your life, that person is your contact with Gardner-Webb University. And if they don't, if you cannot for some reason get up with them, please contact me, because I want to make sure that every one of you end up in those administrative jobs if that's what you really want, and if that's what the master's degree is for, because that's a measure of success for you as well as for our program. So I am looking at our Blackboard shell, and a couple of things I want to call your attention to. Of course, last week, those of you who joined us, we switched around the 15th and the 14th session. Dr. Lamb had a very good session, I thought, on interview techniques. And again, I want to offer this to anyone, letters of reference, or if you want to call me before or touch base with us beforehand and say, can you do a mock interview with me? Really, I don't mind at all. That's part of what I enjoy about being a professor here at Gardner-Webb. So we switched around, but there is one thing in session 15 I do want you to take some time to do, and that is this final reflection. If you have not done that, please do that. You can either add it here. I think there's a place for you to add it here. If not, can you just cut and paste this and send it to Dr. Lamb or myself here at Gardner-Webb? When we do the accreditation with the CAPE, one of the things, and we did this, it appears as if everything went extremely well. We're going to get our final report back in October, so thank you again for those who helped with that. But one of the things that they mentioned to us was that we don't have enough of a reflection from our current students, our graduating students, and their employers. So you should also have gotten an email from Dr. Lamb probably a week or two ago about asking you to, well, maybe he sent it straight to your employer to find out about the clinical experience. Don't worry about it if you haven't, it's not your responsibility. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's ours. But this is an opportunity for us to get some feedback so we can make it a part of our file. So the next time we have accreditation, we can have some reflection. So if you don't mind, if you can link to it here, I'll be able to make a copy of it and send it to Dr. Lamb. But if you want to just cut and paste a sentence or two or anything you can say to help us to better the program, that's truly what we want to do. So the final reflections here, and that is in week 15, which has been moved. So if you see that, please, and also we have here all the interview things. So this will stay on your Blackboard shell, I believe, for you for as long as you need. Now tonight, I really wanted to talk about really about the reflections and to find out anything that you need, or I kind of want to spend the next just a few or so minutes to talk about what could we do better, how can we improve the MELS program to make sure that we are delivering it the way we want to. We have, every year, we have a large number of people who enter into the MELS program, and about 90% of them finish the MELS program on time. So we have a very good success rate with people finishing the program. But the real success comes from two things. One, do you feel like when you graduate, when you march across that stage on Saturday, do you feel like you've gotten your money's worth, and do you feel like you're prepared? That's the first measure. And the second measure is how that is going to translate into your next position, or helping you get your next position. Because at some point, we'd like all of you, after, whether it's next year or a couple of years, we'd like for you to consider Gardner-Webb University for that doctorate degree that you all are highly motivated for. And I will almost guarantee you, of the 5 who I am sitting here looking at, I will almost guarantee you in 5 or less years, the vast majority of you would have been in the doctoral program or have completed. I really do think, because you're highly motivated, this is your career, this is what you're investing in your career, and when you make that decision, of course, Gardner-Webb would like to be a part of that. So let's talk. So I'd like to hear from you. What was the most beneficial thing that we did for you? And I've got a couple of questions for you too. Let me ask mine first. Let me ask this one. How do you like this asynchronous and synchronous? Synchronous means that you, of course, are required to Zoom in with me, and asynchronous means the way we do it now, where you can choose to not, or go back and review the videos. How do you like that? Because there's some discussion here at the university about asynchronous versus synchronous. Any thoughts on it, or is it just kind of, it is what it is? I'm going to get something out of y'all this last night, one way or the other.
I like the blend of both of them. You telling us that, when we are supposed to Zoom in, and, we have the option to go back and review the prior Zoom.
Have you, all right, let me ask, you don't have, just think, have you ever missed a session and actually gone back and watched the Zoom session if it's available? Because sometimes you have. All right, good. That's good to know. All right. Would it be better if we required people to come in for the Zoom sessions, or would you like this format as it is? Anyone?
I think choosing to do like the online program like we've all chosen to do kind of sets it up to be an optional sort of thing. I agree. I think it should be that you're really encouraged, or maybe some of the sessions are required, but choosing to come to an online one means that most of us either are busy or, aren't right around Gardner-Webb. So it might be easier for us to just do online and show up when we can, and, have the option to not if we can't.
So what I'm hearing you say is that's kind of an expectation when you sign up for the online program, that you do have that flexibility, which is a part of the beauty of why you chose an online program. That makes excellent sense to me. All right, let me move on. What can we do better? You won't hurt my feelings if you say get another instructor, but what can we do better? Anything? I mean, and you can do this in your reflections, but if there's anything that really stands out that you would say, Steve, when you do your next 605 class, what would it be differently? Do we give you enough support with the evidence, the PSYOP? Do we give you enough support on that end through the clinical coach? Are we doing enough to get you to become the next principal or assistant principal? And again, I'm really open. Open for just any kind of honest discussion, because I want to make sure that my next class of 605 just thinks, wow, where did he pick up that strategy, or where did he get that idea? You will not be insulting me. If there's anything you would like for us to improve upon, or anybody, now let me just go beyond 605. Anything you've had through your 601, 602, 603, 604, 605 that we can do better. So you don't even have to make it appear as if it's about my class. Anything we can do better?
Yeah, on 602, I didn't understand the modules and why we did them.
Okay, what is 602?
It was like 16 modules or something like that. The second semester, and I did not really understand the purpose.
Was it like this stuff here, or?
It was a whole module set, like 16 of them.
Really?
It took a long time.
Okay. Is that a part of the evidence that was due in 602? No, just a little something kind of class participation type stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to go back and look at that. I don't teach 602.
Am I the only one that did that? Didn't everybody do modules?
No, I didn't do a module.
You didn't do modules? Oh, I did like 18 modules.
Who was the professor?
Dr. Neal.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Dr. Neal. I don't know what Dr. Neal. All right, so what I am hearing you, Demetra, and everyone else is, for goodness sakes, have some consistency in what's required in 602, 603. I mean, the professors should not be out there doing stuff that is way out there. Your experience should be very similar to DJ's. I mean, DJ may have had to do 10 and you have to do 12, but it should be very similar. You know, folks shouldn't be shaking their heads that, no, I didn't have to do that. That's not a good consistency. All right. Anyone else?
I think I appreciated how this semester we were not required to do multiple peer reviews for every single artifact, every single piece of the artifact. I felt like that was like, not that I don't think that it was valuable feedback, but it became a lot for me personally to have to think about all of those peer reviews. And then at some points we even had to like record it, like all of our Zoom sessions. And that was just a lot of extra things for people that have careers and they're also trying to get through graduate school at the same time. And then trying to coordinate schedules so you can record all of your Zoom sessions when you're discussing your peer reviews. So I really appreciated that we didn't do that this semester.
Okay. Well, by the time you get to, here's the philosophy behind it. I hear you, and I'm not trying to explain it, but the philosophy behind it is for to really hit it heavy in 600 so you can become super comfortable with Zoom. But after that, it should be beginning to kind of go away. And by the time you get to 605, you're kind of like experts on Zoom and you know everything you need to know. So I don't stress it because I think you've already gotten that in 600. But it should be narrowing the focus. We should be doing less and less of it as we go. Was that your experience? Was 602 less, 603 less, 604?
No.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. I mean, because the idea really is to get you comfortable with Zoom.
I hear you. I feel that. And I agree with peer review. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it became a lot for just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I also, I appreciated how this semester the readings and the required books were actually tied into things that we had to do, because I feel like in other semesters, it's like you'd buy the books, you'd read it, and you didn't really have to read it to get what you had to get out of it.
Good. Good deal. Anyone else? Anybody else want to share?
To tag on to the book thing, the books this time I liked a lot more for some reason. I enjoyed reading. Maybe it's because it connected, or I just felt like it helped us, prepare better than some of the other ones. While there was some helpful things in some of what we read previously, it didn't feel like it was connecting like this one did so well. So
let me say something about books. If we require a book for you in the course, it should be a book that's going to sit on your shelf in your office as something that you can pull back down in the first couple of years as a reference. So every book that we use in this program should have that within mind, that this is something that's going to be on your professional shelf, and in your first 3 years in your next job as assistant principal, you may at some point pull that book out. Now, after 4 years, the book may be irrelevant or it may be old, but it should be a useful tool for you as you begin your experience in administration. So, all right, so maybe our book selections aren't always the best. They need to be tied to what we're trying to cover in the course. All right, good deal. Anyone else? Anything we did exceptionally well?
The professors, I really do enjoy the professors. All of my classes that I've had thus far, you guys were awesome. They were very compassionate, because I got sick, not too long ago, and Dr. Sanders really, she took care of me, and she was in Dr. Robinson. They all were so compassionate. So
Good. I'll let them know. Can I use them as? Can I tell them that you said that? Because I know they'd appreciate it.
sure.
Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to share before? I do.
Yeah, I really like how Gardner Webb does the internship hours. I have a friend who went through a different university, and they required that, like, at the very end, you had to do like a semester kind of shadowing internship within a certain school instead of doing it throughout the program. And so that kind of interfered with their teaching kind of thing and how they were structuring their career.
That's a good point. It's kind of hard to take away a whole semester and neglect your duties. And this way you get some kind of on-the-job experience, and your principal, also it gives you a chance to become noticed by the principal or those people who may help some hiring decisions down the road if they know, you're involved in an internship and have seen you over the last couple of years.
I would kind of add to that too. What Julia said, just that I feel like Gardner Webb was very organized. I've talked to other coworkers in other universities, and it's kind of like, here's what's expected by graduation. Hope it all gets done. And I like that we have a clinical coach who's in charge of task stream. It's very laid out with internship hours. It's laid out with what we're expected to do in courses versus what our papers are supposed to be, geared towards. So I think it's very well organized with what we're expected in each course.
That will be Dr. Lamb. If any of you had him for a course, Dr. Lamb. He is well organized. All right. All right. Well, I'm not going to, anyone else want to add anything that we haven't heard from? Well, let me tell you, I've enjoyed being your instructor. I have hoped that I will see you in the doctoral program. I teach 2 classes in our doctoral program, the beginning class and the next to the last one. So I look forward to, at some point, seeing you in that. But I really do want to hear back from you as you get those jobs, as you do those interviews, as you need those letters of reference. That's really what I'm here for. You have, not only have you completed the course, but you have also built a network of support that you can use down the road. Don't forget your SOIs if you've not done your student opinions of instruction. Those are important to the university. And please go back to session 15 and do the reflection. A sentence or 2 will be all we need, but do send that back in. That helps us when we go through our accreditation. All right. Anything else for the good of the group?
What's the SOI?
It is a, did you all get it?
They sent us an email, but you have to go to.
It's from Dr. Tubbs.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about, 2 weeks ago, DJ?
Yeah.
It's a survey, but if you look from Tubbs, TUBB.
Oh, something monkey, Survey Monkey or something like that.
Right.
That's the one?
I think it is.
Oh, okay. I did that one.
All right, awesome. All right, anything else for us before we zoom out tonight? I have enjoyed it. Keep me informed of your progress. Use me if I can ever be of any assistance to you. I've enjoyed it.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. Good night. Congratulations to y'all too. I'll see you. Make sure you introduce yourself in case I don't make a name with the face, because I'm telling you, you are this big on my screen. All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Katie.